Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why the universe brought this person into your life. What is the spiritual significance? Can you heal the situation? Well, you can always heal, but a lot of times with these karmic connections, you can't make the person become the person that you want, because they're just not on your vibration. A person that needs healing, they get in their own way constantly. Being in a connection with someone like that, life is frustrating. See, when you're in a connection with a karmic, life is difficult. They make it difficult. It's like, and you're always on edge and you become addicted to that energy because it's where you're putting your time, your energy, you're focusing your money. Again, when you're connected to someone that is full of drama, that's what it is. Then now pushed into survival mode. And so then when we're in survival mode, we are not creating balance within our own life. And so we have to come to a place of realization. Now, a lot of times we're born into families that we have a lot of anger and bitterness towards a parent because that parent is always projecting their anger. But that's because they're connected to somebody that is a karmic. And they're either married to that karmic and it's a one-sided codependent relationship where the person emotionally never shows up. And a lot of times has financial problems and has other problems. They continually get in their own way. They don't love themselves. And so, this codependent dynamic, is inherited. It's in an ancestral pattern that's inherited due to the fact that we feel that there's something wrong with us. We feel as if like we're blocked. And we see that because how our life is working. So you'll attract a person like that into your life when you view that there's something wrong with you, just because maybe you're not working a job that you've really fulfilled that, or you continually bring people into your life that want one-sided relationships. They don't treat you with respect. Whatever the karmic theme is that you're stuck in, that's a karmic loop, by the way, when we're stuck in the same exact experience and it continues to play out. It's what becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's what, if we live in survival mode, it's what we go into the situation looking for, not realizing that that's what we're manifesting because we're looking for it. We're looking for it to protect ourselves. So, healing is all about integrating the spiritual lessons so that when you get into your new relationship after a traumatic relationship, a karmic relationship, that you're not again, bringing in the baggage. The baggage is the behaviorisms and the habits that you formed in that connection. And so that's what is so important about the readings. That's why I focused on the spiritual blocks, because there's always a karmic scenario, and that was just one. And I told you that one because before I started to do the reading, that's what popped into my mind. And I always say, I never know how spirit's going to start the reading, is that spirit just starts the reading, and talks about a specific topic. And then what happens is we wind up seeing that karmic theme continue to play out. And not just play out within your life, but see how it coincides with your karmic person. This is why there is this soul family vibe, because you share karmic lessons, you share spiritual lessons. So there's a lot also that you can say, I have a lot in common with this person also. It's not, yes, we're different, but we're also a lot of like. And you're a lot of like due to the situations that you both went through that kind of mirror each other. And the soul karmic patterns are those that, again, we need to learn in order to heal, to evolve into the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love. And that's what you're doing when you are shadow healing and your soul healing, your wound healing, whatever you want to call it, samskara healing. Um, you're integrating the spiritual lesson so that you can transmute that energy, but you wouldn't know what the lesson was until you encountered certain people and lived certain experiences. All right. Now we'll see why I said everything that I said, because I never know why I say what I say. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. I'm a little behind. There's been a lot going on. I've been, having to still deal with my husband's, estate, and now it's getting a little crazy, how it goes when you're dealing with death. It brings out the best in people. And so that emotionally, and just trying to balance out like my new life, being by myself. So I try to be as consistent as I can. Thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for showing up for me, because you helped me show up for me. I wouldn't show up for me. I don't want to belong to a club that would have me as a member, Like, I'm not just a hair club member, I'm the president. It's like I know what those wounds look like. Those wounds look like, that they're hard when we are faced again with new experiences, but that reflect old situations. It makes us feel like we're not healing, like we're not transcending. But the whole point is that we get our spiritual lessons over and over and over again, the same lesson. And even when we learn that lesson, we get that lesson again and again and again, because Spirit says, I want to see you handle it differently. Like handling it would be not ruminating on the situation, not having anxiety, not feeling like you need to escape or suppress your emotions. And all those things are kind of going on for me right now, So it's like, why is this happening again? So even though we heal, understand the body is your mind's faithful servant. It's remembering everything. It brings up all that trauma, all those past experiences where you felt a certain way and there were reactions and you were programmed to respond a certain way. Now you got to not respond that way. Again, what you created to survive in one environment, and that you grew up with emotional abuse. Well, those same tactics that you learned how to survive, habits, behaviorisms, they're always going to block you. Always going to block you. And that is what makes us perceive that we can't have, that separates us from love, from loving ourselves, from other people loving us, from our creator, feeling our creator. We don't feel him then, because again, the higher self, where our intuition comes from. So we can really feel really out of balance. But that's why it's important to understand why your relationships play out the way that they do. Now, if you want to enter into winning that reading, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar, and understand that the directions are in the description box if you don't know how. And I also wanted to share my life coaching program is open. That link is in the description box as well. My life coaching is not just about healing. Obviously, shadow healing is always part. You have to have a good foundation, but it's also about healing and learning how to walk the walk, how to walk that walk with spirit. So you're always getting that divine guidance. You always feel protected. You're always in the light, that you're living in alignment with the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, because they're all the same thing. And that's what it is. You want to, again, be in alignment with that energy so that you can manifest abundance no matter what's happening in your life, and you can get there. We're meant to be able to do that. All right, now I'll see what the word of the video is. Disequilibrium. Out of balance. I'm going to pull another from my deck, the Psychic Soul Healer Oracle deck. Let's see what that word is. Fantasizing. I feel like I got this the other day. I feel like I got this the other day. So it's not uncommon, but I'm going to pull two more. And I've never done that only because I'm like, eh, the energy is still like out of balance. The person's out of balance. And that's because they're all up in their mind and they're fantasizing like that every worst possible situation for themselves because they're not in a good position. But I also feel like about you, like how you feel, what you're going to say to them. I feel like this person bobs back and forth between having hot, passionate, like thoughts about you to like actually imagining you screaming at them and telling them off, saying that you never want to talk to them again. Like, and it's creating like these emotions all over the place. Like, it's almost like I feel this person is so tapped into you because they're so obsessive about you that because you've been in separation for like this long and this person still has this connection, but the connection is like an empath connection. It's more than just this ESP. This person feels your emotions, and I feel like you're like you get pissed off with this person can feel it. But it's again the emotions are messing them up because this person tends to be better when they're detached from their emotions. So you're making them feel. And I feel like they feel all the same feelings that you're feeling on their own. It's just they're tapping into you and almost then able to feel their own emotions. And they don't like it because it's making them like think about themselves, look at how they treated you, understand that's what this person's imbalance. So if you want to know whether this person feels bad, they do. Are they showing you that they feel bad? No. This person doesn't show anything. That's the problem. Emotionally, they don't. They're tapped into you emotionally. There's a desire and there's a want. And so I really feel right off the bat that this is a karmic connection. I'm going to tell you why. Because this person's so detached and disassociated from their emotions that they don't feel that they, yes, normally walk around in balance. But I feel like they'll drink and have liquid courage to get that to open up a little bit. And then they're balanced, where otherwise this person doesn't really have feelings. They're just, but they have feelings with you. And it's again, and that's because it's a soul's connection. But those feelings are deep. It confuses this person. They're all over the place. Now, since we pulled that energy recently, I have to pull two more cards because I almost feel like, did I not? Now I'm questioning, did I shuffle enough? And the spirit says there are never any mistakes. But I kind of feel like, okay, well, can we go a little bit deeper? Because I kind of feel like that was a mistake, even though we know that it wasn't a mistake. And they're kind of like this connection. That's the energy. I feel like it's a mistake, but maybe it's not. It's like, and it's because that's what karmic connections do. They make us second guess ourselves. So again, the person may be second guessing themselves a lot. Diplomacy. This person's like greatest fear is that you're gonna be like pretty much diplomatic. Yeah, it's like you're gonna be like this person does not know how to read you. And that's the problem. And the irony is, I feel like you're someone that normally is a very emotional person. But with this person, you know that you cannot show your emotions because they see it as a sign of weakness and they try to manipulate you through your emotions because normally, again, they're detached from their emotions. But due to the fact that you're in separation and this person knows that they screwed things up, they're like really tapped into you and they can feel your emotions because they want to know what's going on. And I feel like you're feeling a lot of different emotions about this. But mainly, the number one thing is betrayal. So it's almost like this person may try and bump into you or reach out to you to try and get a reaction. And because I feel like they might have even tried to reach out once or twice before, but really like so little that you were like, was that the reach out? Was that like, where it was like a like on Facebook or like a comment on Facebook? It was so small and insignificant because this person doesn't want to show that they care. They don't want to show that they have feelings. So, and that's really where I feel like the betrayal is. It's like this person is imbalanced because they don't really feel emotions. They, again, are detached. So they're normally imbalanced. And someone that's imbalanced means that, they're not confident. Someone that's not living their truth, someone that's not confident and grounded. And we see again a lot of the energies up in their mind, the fantasizing. And I feel like they did reach out, but they could never read anything. It's almost like this person reached out trying to get like a response so that they could intuit know how to navigate the situation, and you gave them nothing. And so the thing is, you were diplomatic about it, and I feel like that's going to be your energy, and that energy scares this person more because usually they can stir up emotions and create a lot of drama within the situation. And with you're like, no, if anything, you're bringing up a lot of shame. This person is looking at themselves and they're like embarrassed because you showed them something completely different about yourself. First of all, I think that this person thought that you were going to come running back, and we've gotten that lately. We've gotten that theme a lot. Like that this person really thought that you were going to come back because it's in a lot of different readings, and but the thing is, you didn't trust them. You didn't trust them. This person got caught up in their imagination, again, fantasizing, instead of being in the connection, creating like little jabs and, trying to do little things. Because obviously when someone gives you so small the effort, it's more insulting than not giving anything at all. Because what this person is saying is like, this is what you're worth. So again, where you're like, no, because the mistrust is that it's like you're not transparent with me emotionally. You hold back from me because you're ashamed of like how you feel. Like I believe that someone shamed them because of, again, they were emotional and maybe a highly sensitive person, and they were told that that was weak, that they didn't need to not be that way, that they need to be more in control, and they need to be more be like a man if it was a man, or again, big girls don't cry, like don't don't express yourself like that. Everybody doesn't need to know. Hold back. Like appear like cold. Appear like, you're happy. Appear like, you know what I mean? Where almost like and I can say this because my dad was German, but most Germans are like happy, like a lot of them are, but they tend to be very reserved. And but my grandfather taught my dad not to express himself, like not to have emotions. Like, and he did so because at when my dad's mom died, he said the only person that was good was Carol because she didn't cry. Like who doesn't cry at their mother's funeral? You know what I mean? And so much to my grandfather was a sign of weakness. Like it's a very outdated way of thinking. And usually, again, it's taught just because, again, the environment. So again, that's an example. Well, I almost feel like this person was brought up in a similar environment where maybe they cried over uh, something that a parent thought you shouldn't be crying over that. Like, what's wrong with you? What are you like a weakling? But it's like they had feelings, so they were taught to, not really trust their feelings, not to be more logical, to be more analytical. They learned how to survive. They actually, when they're in that energy, they feel like they can connect better to people because they're smart. They're someone that does know how to do a lot of things. So they can talk about business, they can talk about money, they can talk about investments, they can talk about, you know, maybe fixing your car or doing something like, again, that's grounding, like building a house, like where, you know, if they're just trying to have like this emotional connection, they don't know what to do, you know, where you need that, where really it's like I said, this person, I feel like they always had one foot in, one foot out, and almost came across like I would say like they were looking for a savior, someone to fix them, like almost like poor me, you know, talking about their past relationships, you know, making excuses all the time on, you know, why they can't show up and why they can't give to you. But you're seeing them, you have no problem giving to other people right in front of you. And so again, they were doing it they were doing it to the extreme when and it's really because they feel inadequate. They feel like there's something wrong with them. And there is something wrong with you if you don't never tap into your emotions and you're always coming from a logical and analytical perspective, unless it was business or unless it was something that, you know, like a question, like how to build a house or how to like whatever, like, you know, I'm using examples of what this person would be good at, you know, it's not like anyone's ever going to really open up to them and be transparent, not going to feel that emotion. They're not going to, again, it's always cold. It's always correct, it's always decisive, but it's cold. And so, again, people don't feel comfortable opening up to this person because they don't feel comfortable with their own emotions, their own feelings. And here it is, they have a connection to you because they're obsessed. Really, when someone, again, is focused and they have this spiritual connection, oh, understand that it's almost like this person can't say come back, but it's almost like they're trying to manifest you back. Yeah, because there's still a very strong connection, physical connection. And also, this person doesn't like the fact that you don't like see them the same way. You know, that, you know, when you first saw this person, met this person, I feel like there was such a strong spiritual connection that, you know, you were kind of fantasizing. There was, again, understand, it's that passion. It's that connection. The attraction is there. That's not the problem. The problem is that this person doesn't really like who they are, and they don't like who they are because it's almost like they feel like they don't belong anywhere. Like their attitude there, they don't belong anywhere. But that's their perception, and that's their perception because I believe that they learned how to like intuit their environment. And they were also taught not to show their feelings. And there's someone that's logical and analytical and just has gotten good results from being in that energy, learned how to survive the environment that they lived in that by not expressing their feelings and emotions. So imagine like being connected to someone that you feel all their emotions and is stirring up all your emotions, and your emotions are so foreign to you, it's going to be extremely overstimulating. It's going to be very triggering, and bring out all this person's inner child wounds because understand the person couldn't trigger you unless, you know, there was wounding there. And where did the wounding come from? Well, it came from, again, the environment that they grew up in. Again, being told, you don't have the feelings. What are you, weak? Grow up. You know, you're going to cry over that. It's like, no, you don't show that. And then understand when that's the imprint. then again, this person went out into life and, that was the manifestation. Other people told them, don't be, really, you're gonna like be upset over that? Like, really? Like, what do you have anxiety over that? Like, you're not a very strong person. You have all these emotions and all these feelings. Like, you can't work through them. Are you imbalanced or something? Well, this person is codependent because of that, because of those feelings. But unfortunately, because they feel inadequate with themselves, they always attract a narcissist. They always attract somebody that it's almost like this person, you'll be like, no, this person's a narcissist. Well, from being around people that have tried to control them, yes, they become that. They're conditioned to come from such a survival perception that it's all like about themselves. And they also live from their lower energies, the ego self, because when you don't live from your true self, it doesn't feel good and you don't get good results. You wind up getting like it manifesting in bad results. What winds up actually manifesting is the strongest energy, which is always going to be that imprint that was created on, like again, due to trauma in the subconscious mind that continues to play out as the karmic theme. So this person, like you said, continues to live experiences where like relationships, they just don't work out. When they actually get into a relationship, they lose themselves, but they lose themselves because again they don't trust themselves. They become codependent with one person, and that person is someone that usually fights to be in their life, has given so much that they're like, again, also very imbalanced because, what are you going to get? You're going to get someone that is overly emotional, someone that wants this person to show up and they don't know how to because they can't show up for themselves. That means every single time a good occasion happens, like the person gets in their own way. Every time like it's the day before like a vacation or a day like a day of celebration, like it's supposed to be a happy time, this person seems to like get in their own way. Where it's they have intimacy issues due to not wanting to really feel, due to the fact that when they grew up, they were told not to feel, and because they were taught to like really tap into other people's feelings and emotions, which is a survival mechanism, by the way. If you grew up in an environment that you didn't feel safe, it just automatically happens. But the problem is, if you're not healed, you see what you look for. And so you're always reacting from that wound and not from the present moment. This is what projection is. So you'd be like, I was dealing with someone that was continually projecting onto me. And it's like, yes, because they need healing. And so again, they feel out of tune. You're going to feel out of tune. And you're going to feel out of tune. And then over time, because this person's not going to really give you emotionally because they don't really know how. You Without that, of course, they're always going to be in search for something else because passion's only going to last so long. Passion is the counterfeit of love. If we look at it like, when you meet someone, there's a lot of passion and then the person ghosts you. You're like, what the hell was that? And it's like, well, again, it was like counterfeit. The person was in love with that feeling of being loved, but it's not real love. Is something that takes time. And it's through being transparent and sharing experiences, intimate experiences, not just in the bedroom, but actually, you know, creating memories and sharing about your life and feeling safe, feeling vulnerable. This person was never taught that, especially if they weren't allowed to express their feelings. It made everyone feel uncomfortable. So you just pretended that everything was fine, but things weren't fine. The person that learned how to like deal by being imbalanced and learning that to deal with everything, they had to have addictions. They had to drink. They had to suppress their emotions. So what you would deal with is a person that in order for them to even talk to you, they would have to have liquid courage, at this point, because, hey, I've spent a long time like away. And I really kept coming back and really insulting you with all the little bits that I was giving you, hoping that you would come to me and show me more. But you're like, no, because you have an intimacy issue. It's like I'm not getting what I want. You're in your old habits. You're talking to other people, and just because we have a past life connection doesn't mean anything. Because I'm here in the physical world. I'm not fantasizing about, this mad passion that I think that we're going to have because you're actually ruining it because I don't trust you anymore because you haven't given me. It's like, and I'm not going to get myself into a karmic contract because again, you have financial issues now. You have other issues going on because you don't know who you are. So there's a fear of change. And when there's a fear of change and you don't change, all you do is project. And because you don't like you, you're always afraid that I'm going to leave. Again, rejection. And so what you do is you create a lot of drama and you want to be the one that's in control. But meanwhile, you're full of anger due to past trauma that you never healed. So I don't want to be in a place of being sad because I can't trust you. It's like you're jealous of me, but then you're gonna like make it like I'm jealous of you, but because of what you purposely do to try and get a reaction out of me, because you have to create a lot of drama to get a reaction out of me because I'm not going to give you an emotion because you don't give me any emotion. So there's a lot of jealousy and again paranoia. And why? Because you feel inadequate. It's like, and by being inadequate, then I can't, really be balanced. This is how you feel. And so when you're not balanced, you take more risks and then try to manipulate me and create anxiety within me, all because there's lack. And this is really what you feel with this person. And that's what it was like to be in a connection with this person. But understand it was due to their highly sensitive nature. It's that, and the fact that they were told not to be who they were, who they were born to be, like at a very young age. Again, and that's somebody that you're an emotional person and you're having to be a male. Um, you should be allowed to be, express yourself emotionally. You should be allowed to you know, like always celebrate who you are, always be true to yourself. And so again, when we grow up in environments that condition us to be something that we're not, we can still know what we need to do. But that due to that old conditioning, it's just a habit and a reflex. It will, because again, most of the time people are not as present as they should be, like it's automatic behavior that this person would just again treat you unless you're going to be in a connection with them where you can have to tell them. And then you can't be mad that you have to tell them all the time because again, you're retraining a habit. So I feel like a lot of their thing is that they try not to get that close because they know that they lose themselves in the connection, and it's because of their highly sensitive nature. And people don't understand it unless they happen to be a highly sensitive. If you are an empath that just feels other people's stuff, but no one ever told you that you were an empath, and then you were also told that you don't drink, don't do this, don't do that. The person doesn't know how to suppress their emotions any other way. They don't know how to detach themselves. So again, from being continuously told that they're bad for having those emotions, they decide to again detach through alcohol or through drugs, but it's also um, then they are like creating facades of who they are and wearing a mask, and then life can't really manifest into anything. It's like that why bother living? Because you're not getting the emotional fun out of life, right? I mean, life has to be fun. We have to have some sort of happiness. See, when we're talking, things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards, I'm not even sure why I said them. So again, this person feels comfortable. But I feel like that's part of the reason why they create space. I don't want you to know that much. I don't want to be that transparent. I don't want, I'm deliberately holding back. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. So again, still like I'm still not showing my emotion, so I wouldn't contact this person. I feel a sexual energy between us, yet it's beyond physical attraction. It needs to be elevated to the expression of deep unconditional love. So this person is like, I'm very passionate for you, but they know that they haven't given you the time and energy. And that's really what it is. You feel it too. Everyone feels it. You're actually mad because you're like, you disrespected this connection. And now you actually think that there's going to be passion. It's like, there's not going to be passion. It's like, especially if you want me to be the one that contacts you, because nothing's changed. You still are like, I tell you too much and I don't really understand why I do that. You should want to do that. You shouldn't be figuring out why you do that. You should want to do that. And if you're figuring out why you do that, then you're really detached. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I fear talking to you. See, again, emotions create words, and this person, again, so it's just easy. But then imagine being in a relationship with someone that doesn't communicate. They're going to play games. They're going to be passive aggressive. They're going to do, again, it's like that's the issue. Our energy is stagnant. Triggers sometimes happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow. So it's almost like instead of talking and having a conversation with you, this person will start an argument with you, like literally, in order to like have the energy start again. But the truth of the matter is that you haven't talked to this person. So they know that they can't just sneak up on you and start an argument with you, you know? So and that's the problem, that they can't just like just pop up, you know? I know that the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge the situation instead of surrender to it. So again, they're too much in their own way. And it's based on their past experiences. It's based on the fact that you trigger them, and you trigger them because you make them feel, and you make them have to do the work that they refuse to do on themselves. Instead, they'd rather just suppress everything with alcohol or drugs, and not really participate in life and not communicate in life and do what's easiest for them. And that's what we see. I'm struggling with codependency. I'm afraid to let go of my old coping mechanisms. And that's what this is saying. It's like, and this is why it's good that you're not connected to this person, because it's like, again, there's fantasizing, but there's also a sense that this person deliberately is holding back, like almost hoping that you would get so mad that you would react and like fix the connection. And like, you're like, no. It's like you do it. And it's like you feel their energy too. But they're like, in order for me to really come forward, I would need to actually be transparent and be emotionally vulnerable, the two things that this person has a hard time with, and not do drugs or alcohol to suppress their feelings and emotions. And they don't know if they can do that. It's easier if you just come back. So if you want to know why, this is why. This is what they're doing. They're staying stagnant. Um, and again, questioning this connection instead of surrendering to it. It's like, again, disrespecting the connection instead of surrendering to it. That's what it feels like. So I pulled from this deck. I think I did. Let me just see. Did I? And is it even worth to pull anymore? Back from, after all that, I was like, well, maybe I'll just pull two. Again, unaware. Like, again, they're just unaware and like unable to see what they do. They ignore their gut feelings. So again, there is someone that is, again, very logical, analytical. They know that they should come and fix the connection. They know that they should, again, you see it as betrayal because you're like, again, you can feel the whole time that there's a connection, but they're going to give to other people. Those people are insignificant. They're insignificant. And again, and that's easier for this person because they don't have to tap into their emotions. They want to say that they were unaware for a long time. And I feel like they're kind of awakening to what they do. But I don't think that they knew exactly what they did, and they didn't really have a problem with it. But now I feel like that they have feelings for you and you've detached from them. There's a lot of anxiety, and this person doesn't like the feeling of anxiety. They're like, why do I have anxiety? If this is such a good relationship, why would I have anxiety? They're not realizing it's them that has the anxiety, that they're the person that's overthinking about it. And too much thought creates too much emotion, and this person is all over the place with it. They fantasize one way that, again, there's a lot of chemistry, but I have a hard time surrendering to it because I don't want to like be in that type of connection. Why? Because I have to show up. Why? Because then I can't, I'd have to, give up my old habits, my coping mechanisms. And we saw it, which is like drugs and alcohol in order to get by. It's like you're not going to put up with that. I already know you're just not going to put up with it. And to be with a lower hanging fruit, it's easier with all those other people that this person was talking to. They didn't say anything, they didn't care. With you, it would be a real relationship. And that's the problem. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. What is the whole spiritual significance? Isolation, number one. Shame, two. Unworthy, three. Imagination, four. Suppression, five. And sing, six. These are your inner child wound like cards. These are the ones that tell us again where the karmic program started. When we say it happened in childhood, and the karmic theme continue to play out in your life, and it played out because again, you also were suppressed and like told not to show your emotions. You also were shamed several times for your emotions, for being sensitive, for caring too much, for giving too much. And so what happened is again, you felt unworthy. And so you you isolated in order to get like whenever you went through a difficult time. It's not like you had the support. Again, you would have had to talk out your problems and share emotions, and you weren't allowed to do that. So you were also a highly sensitive person that wasn't really allowed to express yourself, to again, to feel. You had to deal with all your feelings as a child, no matter what you went through. That meant bullying, that meant a hard time at school, that meant, not understanding something, wanting to know something, to like having to figure it out on your own, having to do it on your own. And that made you feel unworthy. You also felt like your feelings and thoughts were bad. So this is the same energy as this person's. So you both have this ESP connection. So again, the imagination, right? So ESP is through the heart and mind. So this is why this person really can like feel you, and the fact that they're so focused on you that they can feel everything about you. And so, like I said, and I feel like you're an emotional person, but you're like, you also internalize it. You weren't allowed to express it, but this person's feeling it like it's their own. And you might even feel theirs, where Spirit's saying the imagination is how you learned how to survive. You like every time you went through a difficult situation, like what do you think kids are gonna think 24/7? They can only think for so long of a solution before they check out. It's because it doesn't feel good. And it doesn't feel good to be in the body because again, we feel bad about it. So again, we escape, and we escape through the imagination. Imagination happens when we disassociate from our body because it doesn't feel good. So Spirit's saying you have a lot in common with this person. You weren't allowed to express your feelings. This person wasn't allowed to express their feelings. That's why we opened up the reading with what the reading was, Spirit said, which is all about the karmic pattern, like what you've learned in childhood to survive is going to block you from thriving. So what's actually blocking the connection is not one person, it's two people. It's because this person, like again, even though there's a strong connection, it's like this person made you feel unworthy, where really Spirit says no one should be able to make you feel unworthy. So again, when we do the inner, like the inner child healing, it would be again to not be around anyone that suppresses us and not anyone that obviously makes us feel unworthy, and to obviously not go into isolation, which are very common when we are psychologically and emotionally abused. Again, and shame, if we're being shamed as a child constantly, that's psychological and emotional abuse. So, like I said, we wind up checking out. That's the way that a child would survive because it's, like I said, it doesn't feel good to be in the body. So, Spirit's saying, like, when you integrate that, and you integrate that by utilizing the imagination, but it also means by reparenting yourself, obviously, through how I said before. And then we pull through more cards from this, which is by, like spending time with yourself, meaning to do the actual healing. Because if you attracted this person into your life, Spirit says, hey, you're still fragmented. This person wants to stay in their addictions. They don't really want to change. So you may be like, well, I'm trying to get better. And Spirit says you need to put more work into, again, becoming yourself and tapping into yourself every day to get a good connection to the higher self. Because Spirit says you're still not strong within yourself because they were telltale signs the whole time that you didn't recognize the red flags. Were you ignoring the red flags? Because there's a lack of direction in your life. You don't really know what to do that's going to emotionally fulfill you. You don't know where you could possibly meet someone else that's new. You're putting time into yourself. Take the time out to meditate every day and understand that you'll get the divine guidance. And that might come as an image. You might all of a sudden get an impulse that you want to start painting, or like again, all of a sudden start seeing something on the internet all the time because you've been praying and meditating about it. But Spirit says, take the time to do reflection. If you are a highly sensitive person, you aren't allowed to have your process. Again, part of the process is feeling the emotion. You guys were told, don't feel your emotion. That's making me feel uncomfortable. You're crying. Even if I'm the abusive person, don't cry about it. It's like, but you're like, as a child, like you're, you can't help it, what you feel. Well, it's like it's saying, don't have blue eyes, don't have brown eyes, don't feel. That's what you're told. So you're told that that's bad. You get shamed. Feel like there's something wrong with you, that you're inadequate. And Spirit says that's not who you are. That's not an identity. It's again, that's a feeling. But then it's to put the energy into saying, why do I feel this way? Oh, because that's I'm walking around with that as my identity. What should be there? I don't know. Spirit says, invest in yourself, love yourself. It's again, understand, ascend to life. It's really let go of who you were to realize who you are. It's again, you're not who those people told you that you were when you were growing up. Insensitive, you're stupid. What are you going to be dopey? Show your emotions? Going to cry? Going to show you that you're weak? Is there something wrong with you? Oh, it bothers you if I torment you? I'm going to do it more. It's like that scared child. You're not. Your emotions helped you navigate your life. It helped you tap into the higher self, look at yourself differently, Spirit's saying. Let go of who you were to realize who you are. Release the past. That's how you're going to ascend life. It's like you got to see yourself differently. It's again, like instead of inadequate, because Spirit says, I brought this person to you because they get in their own way. They feel inadequate about themselves. Yes, they made you feel inadequate, but it's because they feel inadequate about themselves. It's more about, again, how this person made you feel. Again, in order to create the awareness. Again, inner sanctuary. Here it is again. Spirit saying, listen, this is almost 3 for 3. It's Spirit saying it's like healing time. You're not supposed to do anything right now, again, except for find out what it is that you want to do. So it's not about like changing your job right now or like making some sporadic big changes. What Spirit's saying is it's time for healing. Create a sacred space in your home, again, so that you can tap into yourself, spend time with yourself, but that's so that you can tap into the higher self through meditation. And why, again, the inner sanctuary, it says it here, connect to the safe, sacred place within yourself. Then that's if you're a highly sensitive person, you were too tuned into what was going on in your environment that you're not even tapped into like what it is that you want. You might say, I just want love, where Spirit's saying is like there's more to life like than a relationship. And you have to be clear on the type of relationship. It's like you keep attracting people that again are treating you the way that your parent taught you, but in this situation, this person grew up the same way that you did. They just aren't capable of emotionally giving or even expressing. So with you and this person, you would constantly, but you constantly bang heads. And the real Spirit is saying it was not because you're supposed to be together. It's supposed to help you ascend life because you're like, I really want to know why things aren't manifesting for me. And Spirit saying, because you still haven't figured out who you are yet and what you want to do, you're still walking around with those core beliefs that someone else gave to you due to your who you are. It's again like, don't be a lefty. I'm going to shame you because you're a lefty. I'm going to shame you because you have brown eyes. I'm going to shame you because you're a sensitive person. You're an emotional person. I feel like that's weak. I feel like there's something wrong with you. It's like your emotion makes me feel uncomfortable. So again, both parties grew up the same way. So Spirit's saying, what would you even know what you felt? It's again, take the time to be by yourself, to again create that inner sanctuary again so that you can ascend life because you're already there, but that energy needs to be like integrated. And Spirit leaves us off with one more message, and that is, let's see, because we're not going to be with this person, clearly, because they're like not capable, emotionally capable. And the Spirit's saying, well, it's again this for you to get emotionally stable too with yourself. And so again, that you can manifest and so that you can again receive unconditional love. It's like to become the energy of unconditional love by really loving yourself first, unconditionally, regardless of your perceived downfalls, shortcomings, experiences that you've gone through in the past. Spirit says none of those are you. Understand your heart needs to be free from resentment towards others. Open your eyes and your heart and discover the light and the beauty in every being. Be aware that suffering can cause distress and hurt in people. Again, and that's what we see here. This person is hurting because they don't make their life good. They're just, after a while, just wear the mask and is good with pretending that their life is good because they're not going to show any type of weakness. Remember, that would not be good in this person's eyes. So you're not going to see, but that's what Spirit's saying, that the suffering and the distress is really hurt people, and hurt people hurt people. So Spirit says, choose to see the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. So this person did get in their own way. They did sabotage the connection. They don't really want to do what they need to do in order to step it up. They want to stay doing their addictions and in their codependent toxic habits. And really, Spirit saying, they're hurt, and understand hurt people, and it's all about still keeping your energy clean by vibing at the energy of unconditional love, and that only happens by practicing forgiveness. So again, you got somebody, you grew up with someone that had a hard time showing you emotion, and now you attracted people that can't show you emotion. And here it is, it's like that whole dynamic, that karmic theme keeps playing out, and that's why Spirit's saying, let go of who you were, ascend life, see your emotions as something different. Again, because you're going to connect to new people in the world and new experiences that love a deep emotional person, that love an expressive, animated person, you know, that you got to put yourself in the right environments to get the right outcomes. That's not the right environment. And Spirit always says, never, ever, ever dim your light. It's like you would have to in order to like be with this person, and because this person is like suppressing who they are. So obviously your emotions would be very uncomfortable to this person. All right, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this deep and long one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.